Alright guys, so the tutorial for Brooklyn, you're only going to need to know a couple prerequisites. That would be the swivel cut, just to break off packets like that, the swing cut, break off, and then pretty much a scissor cut, and that is all you need to know. And with that being said, let's jump into the tutorial for Brooklyn. There's also a variation. If you guys want, let me know in the comments. It'll be Brooklyn Bridge, which will be a variation where I do this. And I can teach it to you later. There's a couple cool things that go on with that. But right now we're teaching Brooklyn, like you saw in the trailer. So to get started, what you're going to want to do is hold the deck in raised straddle grip or raised dealer's grip, depending on how you name this. And this other weird grip that's going to be done, I'll teach you. You kind of do like a hang 10 with your hand, put your pinky at the bottom here on the outside side of your pinky, depending on what hand you're using, and your thumb grips here. And the important thing when you split this, you're also going to want to do a Z grip. I don't think I mentioned that. So watch the grips video, but pretty much all of you know that, unless you're a very beginner. And then I wouldn't recommend doing this. Enough ramble. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull the deck apart like this into a Z grip. There's going to be a packet between your pinky and your thumb on your dominant hand. That's going to be half the deck. And then you're going to split the deck with your pinky and your thumb, pinky from your dealer's grip hand, thumb from your dominant hand, like so. And then the last packet's going to be still kind of raised and straddle grip in your dealer's grip hand. So what's going to happen here is you're going to break off into a packet like this. You're going to tilt this wrist up so that this half of the packet, or half of the deck I should say, packet, tilts up this way. And your thumb and your index in your dealer's grip hand is going to grab half of it like that. Then it's going to pull over and kind of extend out past. And you're in this kind of shape like the worm. If you guys have learned that move, it's kind of similar to that. And with this hand, what you're going to do, this is where the scissor cut comes in. Your index is going to pull away, and this packet in the middle here, where the middle and the ring are, is going to sit while this pulls out. And you want to make sure this index finger and this corner clear out like this. The thumb is going to go to the short side like so, and you're going to be in a display somewhat like this. So from the top, take half the deck, cut it off between your thumb and your pinky and your dominant hand, slow-mo out to Z grip, index and thumb from the dealer's grip hand, grab half and pull out. Then this separates, the index and the thumb clear out, the corner clears. That's where the scissor cut is needed. So the thumb is now between the index thumb, thumb, pinky, pinky, and dominant thumb, and then thumb, dominant pinky are all holding packets like this. So you're kind of looking like it's in a staircase. So then what you do from here is this packet between your dealer's grip pinky and your dominant thumb can swing back in on top of itself. This right hand, or your dominant hand, is going to do a move while your dealer's grip hand does a move. Your dealer's grip hand move is going to look like this. You're kind of reversing what you did before. You could, depending on what's easiest for you, you can just close the scissor cut by bringing the thumb down towards the pinky and close that. Or if you're in this position, you can, in my version, pull index back to the point that it was and then stretch out even further and almost do a reverse scissor cut from here. So it pulls out and covers on top. And that is how, so you go from this position, index, thumb out. And if you guys don't know any of my moves, I always do this thing where the pinky pulls and the ring pull and extend that out. So in slow-mo to there, it should look like this. You kind of do a little swivel, kind of wipe it by your thumb again to display it out. So that little subtlety is break off here, split that. You kind of pull a little bit. While this is extending out and clearing past, you do a little bit of a rotation again with this packet, kind of rotating it. And then once this thumb makes contact, you can spread it all out. And that's what gives it that fluid display, that little peeling motion. And then what's cool is it looks like it mirrors back. So it goes back in here, index and thumb pull out. Then I'm going to teach you the thing to do in your right, or your dominant hand, excuse me, for all of you flipped version people. In your dominant hand, you are now holding a packet between your pinky and your thumb like this. With your index finger is going to go over the top long side while your middle and ring finger extend out, and your thumb's actually going to leave it. So you should have a packet clipped between your index and pinky, and on the other side, you should have your middle and ring like that. Now what happens here is your index pulls down, making it leave the pinky, and now you've got this entire packet clipped between your index and middle. Now this is kind of hard to do in slow motion, so what I recommend doing is allowing this to come over, because what's going to happen is it's going to be facing the same way as the deck in your dealer's grip hand, And you can take that long side and kind of wipe it down like this, because what's going to happen is you're going to flip it over. You're going to put your dealer's grip thumb underneath to let it lay on top, and you're going to do a move that I've seen Oliver do. I don't know what to call it. It's just a closer, but that's where you split this deck. You do my signature move, which I do all the time. It's not really mine, but I do it all the time. Pinky and ring pull out so that this wrist turns down and puts this packet behind. So you get that kind of closer. And this is what it would kind of look like if you've ever done Tuscaloosa. Then you got a packet left between your thumb and your index finger, and you kind of drop it in there at the same time. So in something that Oliver Sogard does, I've seen him do, is something like this, where the middle kind of helps push underneath and you tilt your wrist down. This wrist comes up to accept and receive that packet, and this face-up packet gets dropped in the middle while it's closing. And so you would do something like this. I don't know what that closer is called. If you guys know, you can drop it in the comments for me so I can inform people correctly. But it looks like that. Then I've also seen him do this, and this is how I love closing it because it's got this tumbling motion. But the index finger pushes the packet back into your hand. The thumb goes, instead of on top, underneath the bottom third of the packet and grips index at the front, thumb at the back, and your wrist turns it over. And your thumb stays here in a line and it kind of pulls it around the thumb. And then the packet is able to rest in your hand. So I usually, looks like that. So you're kind of turning this wrist down to hold the deck like this, essentially, index, middle, thumb, and you're just turning it over. And your thumb is that fulcrum point that it spins around. So your index pushes it back, your dominant hand grabs it, peels it around your thumb, and then your middle finger can kind of go on the opposite side and help it turn. So if you guys just watch this in slow motion, it should help. But it's really fun to do. My index kind of re-grips in the middle of that, but you guys don't have to do it necessarily. Just makes it more comfy for me. So from the beginning, little slow-mo, make sure that the top packet is a half of the deck. Split it out here into your Z-grip position. Index thumb, grab a packet to split that. You pull away. While this is doing its clearing thing, you do a little bit of a rotation once it makes contact. This packet here does a rotation while this packet scissor cuts. Once your thumb makes contact with these short sides, that's when you can pull out and do the display. Then it rotates back in. This does a reverse scissor to lay on top. This does this motion, letting go of the pinky and thumb, and then the index and middle clipping together. Rotates over like that. Split the deck. Do that little Oliver closer. Index pushes back and it goes around. And guys, that is Brooklyn. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys haven't already, check us out on Instagram, join our Discord. All the links are in the description. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love to teach more of these things. And yeah, guys, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.